From the newsrooms of the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age, this is 4020. I'm Michael Chammas. It's Grand Final week. Today, Christian Nicolussi joins me in the Sydney Morning Herald studio as we break down all the Rugby League news ahead of the Grand Final. Christian Nicolussi, you were last man standing at the Dally M's last night. I left, you were still going strong.
I'm just amazed you're still standing after this foot race.
What foot race?
Was there some foot race with all the media types?
Well, we'd call it a race. Some of those
Josh
guys could barely move, but...
Emma Lawrence?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to represent the Herald the way I would hope to have done so. Finished fifth.
What was this race? What was it in aid of?
Well, the bye round.
So we're promoting another podcast on our podcast.
That's
a great start.
Yeah.
What a great start to a Grand Final podcast.
That's what we do here, mate.
Plug the opposition.
That's what we do. Telegraph good stuff over there as well if you're listening.
Talk us through it. How far did you have to run?
75 metres was my distance. So Josh Mansour on the 100. James Graham 80.
Yes.
Myself and Brent Reed 75. Riccio and Tom Birmingham from Hello Sport 65. Emma Lawrence, because they've decided she's had a double hip replacement and she's had a kid, started on the 50.
That's embarrassing.
And Buzz Rothfield, who, looks like...
Was he in a wheelchair? Was he
snail
running?
could move quicker. Mate, he would have been quicker in a wheelchair. There's no doubt about it. He started at the 35. Originally at the 30 and I blew up. I said, I'm not having Buzz beat me in this race. Put him at the 35. Anyway, we started. I may have started slightly early. And I finished fifth. But I think I gained 7 or 8 metres on the guys in front who were 10 in front of me.
With Roger Fabry, is that right?
No, but we can go with that rumour.
I was very quick back in the day, just quietly.
You're in for next year?
Not next year, no. I said back in the day I was very quick.
I'm
Not
going
now.
to put your name forward for next year. You might need to lose some pudding though.
Wow, thank you.
Anyway, no, just to help you with the race. Not that
Okay.
you're a fat or anything.
Enough gibbering.
All right. Now listen, Kangaroos squad. I did a story today. Likely 23-man squad. It'll officially be named on Monday. The selectors will meet Monday morning after the Grand Final and name their squad. I went through today. I believe there are going to be 7 debutants in that squad. Reece Walsh to be at fullback.
Good call.
I think Ethan Strange is going to get picked. Blake Brayley, the Cronulla hooker.
Like it.
Canterbury back rower Jacob Preston. Roosters winger Mark Nwangani-Tuwase. Newcastle centre Bradman Best. South Sydney enforcer Keon Kaloa-Matangi. That's the 7 that I believe will be going as debutants. Now,
Is Katoni Staggs on that list, Chammy?
he's not a debutant. He's played for Australia before, but
Forgive me.
he's on the list to
I
go.
stand corrected. He's
So-
one of the form centres in the comp. He has to be there
But the decision with Katoni wasn't whether or not they'd pick him. It was whether he wanted to play.
for Australia.
He was tossing up
When did he
between...
play for Australia?
According to my calculations, he's previously played for Australia.
Well, he has. I'm not second guessing.
Don't know
But,
when it was.
He's a form centre. I love
But-
the look of him. I love Reece Walsh. I spoke with James Tedesco at the Daily M's last night about 6 separate times.
Yeah.
He was a shoe-in for the award back in May, and I did ask him, because obviously the news during the week that he wasn't going to be a part of this Ashes tour because of knee surgery and his brother's wedding. But I asked him, who do you think will wear the number 1? Of course, Dylan Edwards, the incumbent. But he said, Reece Walsh, how can you go past him? Not only will he wear it this series, but he's a player of the future.
Yeah.
And you cannot deny the form that he's been in the past 2 months.
My mail was Teddy was going to be, even though Reece Walsh was going to be in the squad, if Teddy was going, he was going to be the fullback. And Reece Walsh would have been on standby. Now that Teddy's not there, Reece Walsh steps into the fullback role. Dylan Edwards on standby.
Even that's a big call, though, Chammy.
It
Reece
is.
Walsh is on another planet in terms of form right now. He's so exciting to watch. I guess you could have played Teddy at fullback, played Reece off the bench, but you've got Tom Dearden. It's some nice selection headaches for Kev.
I think the centres will be Staggs and Best. We're a bit short on centres this year with no Latrell Mitchell, no Tommy Trebojevic, Hamaso. But Staggs and Best will be in the centres.
What about the wing? I know you slowed up before, Mark Nwangani-Tuwase.
Wanganitawase, I could say it fast.
He's
if
got
you
to
like.
play on the wing, surely.
My-
Xavier Coates,
My mail,
left wing,
is he'll be-
Marky Mark on the right.
standby. I think they'll go Coates and Lomax.
I don't
As I
like
said,
that
this
one.
is my mail. I'm not afraid to get it wrong.
And you
taught me
let's
well.
face it, you have been wrong in the past.
But I think
That's not a
at this
first.
point he'll be he won't start the first test. The halves would speak for themselves, Munster and Cleary. Front row, I believe it'll be Carrigan and Tina Fasua-Malaawi. Hooker, Harry Grant. The back row, they're going to take Hudson Young, Crichton and Jacob Preston. So one of those, 2 of those 3 will be in
Hudson
the back row.
left,
Potentially
Jacob right.
Kaloa-Matangi as well. He'll be in the squad.
He can play edge and middle.
And the lock will be Isaiah Yeo. So Tom Dearden and Brayley will go. I don't think they're going to go with a 9 on the bench. I think Dearden will be there 14. Brayley will be a backup, just in case.
And it's a nice reward too for Blake Brayley. He's had a fantastic finish to the year. Why
Is
not
anyone
get him
hard done
in
by?
and around? I don't think so.
No Matt
you
Burton?
have? No. How could you have him? Where would
Yeah.
you have played him?
Yeah.
He
No
could have
Max
gone.
King?
Matt Burton, I guess, could have gone in Ethan Strange's place.
Yeah.
I don't think Ethan Strange will play, but it's a nice reward for a brilliant season. He's not going to play over there, let's face it, unless it was a warm-up test. He could have got a bit of a look in, but just to be in and around that group. But Matt Burton, I think he's played for Australia. He doesn't need to be in and around that group.
Reece Robson dumped for Blake Brayley. Fair?
If you pick the New South Wales Origin team tomorrow, Blake Brayley every day of the week over Reece Robson.
I thought they might have a look at Mitch Kenny. I thought Mitch Kenny's got himself into that calculation now.
I think
But
Harry Grant,
Brayley's year was
Harry Grant and
sensational.
Blake Brayley is so far in front of the pack, it's not funny.
Yeah.
And you've got to think Reece Robson too, joining the Roosters. He wants to make a nice impression at his new club.
Yeah.
Hit pre-season training
So
from
he'd be
day
happy
one.
that he's missed out, you reckon?
Well, I don't think anyone's ever happy of missing out on a team, but if you're ever going to
There's a
miss
silver lining.
an Ashes series,
Yeah.
listen, he's still a good player. He's got plenty of rep footy ahead of him, Reece
Yeah.
Robson. But good on you, Blake.
Hey, listen,
He's
Dally
a
M's.
champion dude too.
Was he there last night at the Dally M's, Blake Brayley? I did
Blake
see him,
Brayley
actually.
was there, yeah.
Yeah.
With Fitzy.
Yeah.
There's a little rumour going around that DCE was off to Cronulla.
I know, I heard you talking about it last night as if you just heard it.
I just heard it. I don't listen
It'd
to
been
all
out
these
since
other
Monday.
podcasts.
It was on
the Buy
Triple M
Round and all these
Whisper.
other podcasts.
You know, yeah, you're stuck in your
I'm a
own
Triple
world.
J man. I don't listen to Triple M. I don't hear these rumours.
Yeah, well, I think you're a Triple XL man as well. I think the question I want to ask you from last night, did they get anything wrong, do you think?
Lock of the year. Aaron Clark.
Yeah, I think it was deserved.
Isaiah Yeo.
No, I think Aaron Clark's been sensational for the Warriors.
Been a great pickup.
I
But
heard
just
Terrell
think-
May. Is it true that Terrell May missed out? What did he finish in the top 5? He was the highest rated ranking front rower and didn't get on the team of the year.
Who was there? Payne Haas and
Was it Tuppiner?
Adam Fanor
Fanor Blake.
How can
Yeah.
you go past those two?
I understand, but what
Terrell
I'm asking
May,
is the
I
system is
understand, yes.
Terrell May finished higher than them
But Terrell May
in the
shot out of the
Dally M
blocks
leaders.
in voting
Yeah.
when the West Tigers hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I guess he was such a standout in a team that wasn't performing as strongly as, say, Cronulla
Yeah.
and even Brisbane. So Cronulla would have been adding to each other's votes. Hence, Adam Fanor Blake didn't poll as well as Terrell. Terrell was a standout in a team, a mediocre team for the first part of the season. So I wouldn't necessarily read into where he finishes on the ladder means he's the best in his position.
Any shenanigans? Any drama?
No, it was very quiet.
I love a good drama at a Dally
Such a
M.
quiet night.
Yeah.
And then, of course, news broke midway through the evening that Phil Gould spent the last couple of nights in hospital. And
Yeah.
if Phil's listening, we wish you a speedy recovery.
Yeah, I'm
Had
sure
his
he'll be
test for the
tuning in
heart.
from his hospital room now to listen to us.
But the night just felt like it was a bit of an anticlimactic. That's a word, isn't it? Because we all knew Teddy was going to win. And we're just sitting around going,
They were
right,
trying to build up the suspense,
And
and,
they
then it's
weren't
like,
bringing out the
and
gears.
188 points in front, James Tedesco
they
wins.
weren't bringing out the beers.
Yeah.
What about the Russian, Adrian Prezenko, our esteemed colleague,
Mm-hmm.
just kept ordering Coke. I said, you might as well have beer. There's more sugar in Coke than there is in beer.
What is he?
Sorry, he's Russian. I couldn't believe he wasn't ordering vodka.
And also, this might be controversial. I also think that it's time that I think they were right to introduce the women's awards to be part of the Dally M's, but I think the women's game has outgrown being part of it, and they both deserve their own separate nights.
'Cause
And
it
I don't think the
becomes
night
pretty
does
long.
justice to either party, the men's or the women's game. It feels rushed to both.
Yeah.
And I feel like now the NRL is at a point where you can have the women's night of nights and the men's night of nights. And even you could argue you get to a point where the women's grand final doesn't need to be a curtain raiser to the men's game anymore. What I'd like to see going forward is if you have your Sunday NRL grand final, your Saturday night women's grand final, and they change the rules for that competition, and you give the highest ranked team in the grand final home ground advantage. So if Newcastle are the highest, I want to see the game in Newcastle, and that way you're guaranteed to have a big crowd. Because if it's going to be if you lock it into a Sydney Allianz Stadium grand final every year on a Saturday night, what happens if it's a Broncos Cowboys grand final? But if you guarantee that it's going to be the highest ranked team, it'll be awesome. Imagine, it's the Roosters this year; they finished highest on the ladder. But imagine it is a Broncos home women's grand final. You get
That's the way to do it.
25,000 there at Suncorp Stadium
I'm
in the
actually
minimum
with
on a
you there.
Saturday night.
I'm with you. I haven't had much to do with John Strange. Spoken to him a couple of times. Geez, he looks like an impressive man.
Yeah.
obviously the coach of the Roosters NRLW, but he's undefeated this year with his team again.
Phenomenal.
Second title, far out. At least we've got a Sydney club we can cheer.
Yeah, Roosters Broncos in the women's grand final. The conversation around daytime grand final, and this is what I sort of brought that up. If you do play the women's on a Saturday night, it means you don't have to play so many games on Sunday.
In the lead-up.
And you can play a daytime grand final.
I love it. I love the daytime grand final.
It has to happen, doesn't it? Next broadcast deal?
I reckon one of my first memories, I would have been 7 or 8. It was 1985, St George, Canterbury. Craig Young, I just remember Craig Young. I was watching it at Graham Neal's place in Wakely, in the good old rough and ready western suburbs. But I still remember it. Daytime grand final, all the parents getting together for a barbecue. Even Sunday's game, Broncos and Panthers. I went to a mate's place for a barbecue. Kids jumped in the pool. The water was freezing. There was no way I was getting in there. As you politely pointed out, I'm a triple XL, so I haven't quite got the backyard pool body happening right now. But sitting there when it was still daylight at full time, and then you could actually go back to conversing with the actual wives that were there in the room. And it hasn't didn't want to know them until 6 p.m.
It hasn't impacted the numbers either. The ratings have gone through the roof during the Sunday afternoon semi-finals.
We've both got young kids. They can be in bed at a reasonable hour.
Yeah.
I understand the ratings, but I don't know. 4 o'clock, sure, it's the perfect time.
But at the very minimum, even if they don't want to do it every single year, at the very minimum, turn it into an event. Do it once every 5 years and say, okay, we know in 2030 it's a daytime grand final. And we all look forward to it. We know that's going to be the big, great daytime grand final. I think at the very minimum that has to be the case in the next broadcast deal.
This is a curveball, not a curveball, but unscripted. Do we keep it in Sydney? Staying in Sydney next year?
Don't be stupid. Of course it has to stay in Sydney.
We'd love a road trip just to perk things up.
You just want to drive to Brisbane and claim the mileage. Because the tickets will be too expensive. It's cheaper to bloody drive and get your mileage.
I've got Energy Australia chasing me for an electricity bill right now. I promise I pay.
Anyway,
what's the mileage?
Speaking of people who are going to pay, R360.
Yes.
They're paying.
Yes.
They're going to throw the cash at a number of players.
Crazy money.
Who do you think goes? Like, do you think Zach Lomax goes?
If he can get out and if Parramatta grant him a release.
Yeah. I
spoke with Ryan Pappenhausen during the week. He was he flat battered it to an extent, but he did say, listen, if he's open to anything. And when you think about Ryan Pappenhausen, he's had a history of head knocks. He's had some pretty serious injuries throughout his career. So he's seen a bit of a glimpse of what the other side looks like. He's come close to having it all taken away from him. So you can appreciate a guy, if this is going to be outrageous money, they've got a limited window. Unlike journalists, actually our windows can be shorter sometimes. But rugby league players, up until 35 roughly, they've got to make it rain while they can. And if a franchise like R360 is prepared to throw Ryan Pappenhausen north of, $1.5 million a year, you're mad not to look at it. I don't think it's a dirty word anymore. If you want a code hop back and forth, go on to the days of Sonny Bill Williams and French rugby. It's almost accepted now.
What I think with Lomax, the interesting one is, I don't think Zach will be granted a release to go immediately. But I think if Parramatta feel as though if he leaves in 27 and they get time to find a replacement for him, well, maybe it's a viable option.
Has he played rugby though, Chammy?
Well, I don't believe so. But if they announced yesterday the comp is going to start on October 2 next year. Mm-hmm. Now, I think the Eels are going to improve significantly. I don't know if they'll be playing by October 2, though, next year. Does Zach Lomax play out the year at Parramatta, then head straight over to Rugby 360? That, to me, if he's going to go, that's the pathway.
But how many games are they talking about for that inaugural season?
Well, it's only going to be a 6-team comp, so
16, maybe a maximum 12. Let's say 12 games.
Maybe probably 10 games. Yeah.
You're going to need,
because you don't play yourself.
Unless they're going to be physically fit.
Yeah.
But they're going to a foreign code. They're going to take some time to get up to speed with their teammates, the plays.
I don't blame Parramatta to turn around and say no. You're not.
But the same as Ryan Pappenhausen, Melbourne are more of a chance again.
Well, they
purely on paper.
Yeah.
To go deep into September again next year already.
Yeah.
Even without a ball being kicked.
Yeah. Well,
what happens there?
Same deal. If they're going to go, Pappenhausen's not off contract at the end of 26. Sorry. So it's different to Lomax.
I appreciate Ryan Pappenhausen. I appreciate another guy, Jai Gray at South Sydney, who has established himself this year at fullback. But if he can make $800,000-900,000 a year at R360, bang, go for it.
Yeah.
Zach Lomax, that's the one I don't understand. He's a rep player, very ambitious, very driven, but he wants to be at the best at his code in rugby league. And right now, he's not the premier winger in the game.
No.
He aspires to be, and I'd love to see him stick at it, because he could be. He could be anything, Zach Lomax.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we've got to talk some footy. The grand final.
Oh, there is too. Sunday.
Broncos Storm. We're not going to get into the ins and outs of the game, but I want to ask you about Stefano Utoikamano's comments.
So bizarre.
Calling the Broncos players stuck up. Not all of them.
He's such a nice guy.
Was it a shock? I did not expect that would happen.
I had to get the 6 a.m. flight from Sydney to Melbourne, and by the time I got an Uber, who decided to do a few laps of the airport, just cursing him, saying, "Mate, I'll pay double if I can. Just get me to Amy Park." But by the time I arrived, Stefano had done his all-in press conference, and when I heard the word "stuck up," I'm like, Stefano, like he wouldn't boo Santa. He's such a quiet, placid guy. And I still can't understand who we would have been referring to. It gave us a bit of fun for a day.
I think I did some digging, right? I think stuck up wasn't the word. He was probably a reflection of what he meant.
Arrogance?
I think that he felt there are some rock stars, some show ponies, some guys without shirts on quite regularly, your Reece Walshes and your Rickies. And I think he was maybe having a crack at the flamboyant nature of some of those players.
But I like that anyway. I mean, you need it.
I love
right
it.
Now, Brisbane, they're into a grand final. They can take their shirts off all they want.
Madge would have killed him if he said it. If he was playing under Madge, Stefano would be benched.
Well, I thought Stefano, the first, what was going to happen, he walked off after all his media commitments. I thought the first stop would have been Frank Panisi's office.
Yeah.
He would have got the blow dryer action. And then the next office would have been Craig Bellamy to cop it. But apparently they haven't laughed it off, but it died pretty quickly, didn't it, that storyline?
You spoke to Billy Slater, didn't you?
I did, yeah, during the week.
Interesting angle. I like where your head was at. How will he handle this, treating Melbourne, given it's his former club? And
he's the Queensland coach.
What did he tell him about Reece Walsh?
He gave Reece Walsh his Queensland debut, so it's an interesting one. He works for Melbourne. Melbourne's so close to his heart, but he loves Reece and he loves seeing the Queensland players do well. Far out, there's too many Queensland players involved in this grand final. That's another issue. But Billy basically said, I think he used the word professional intel he will provide to Melbourne. So everything you see in 80 minutes that everyone else sees on the field.
Fair game.
Whether Reece Walsh likes to go left, whether he favours the right, when he likes to throw the cutout, he is fair game. And Billy will tell Melbourne, and he will tell Craig Bellamy, listen, this is the way to shut him down. But when it comes to little things like how he mentally prepares, how he gets himself up, personal intel, as Billy likes to use it, he'll keep that to himself. At the end of the day, he's got to respect his role as Queensland coach.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
He can't give the complete ins and outs.
Yep.
But in terms of what you see each week, Billy's one of the sharpest minds in the game. He'll come in handy this week.
Your mate, Madge. Now,
go, Madge.
I obviously have had my history with the great man. I stand by what I said for a number of years, that he's not a rebuild coach.
You're just a hater.
No, I stand by it. He was not the right man for the job at the Tigers. And the more... See, the thing with Madge is he's a coach for great players. Mm-hmm. He knows how to get good and great players and take them to another level.
New South Wales.
He's done it at Origin. He's done it with Souths. He's done it over in England, right? He's never, besides the West Tigers, been asked to take a team from the bottom and build. And the problem is he needs everyone on board. His philosophy and his mentality is so intense and demanding that if you haven't got everyone on board, it falls apart. And at the West Tigers, when he tried to get them all on board, they all resisted. And it led to guys like myself and other people being told a lot of information about how people were unhappy. And that made his time at the West Tigers almost untenable towards the end. The difference at the Broncos is he's got some good players. And he's got people buying in. There was some rumblings around some disharmony and the way he handles it. But he had enough buy-in from the players who believed that he could take them to the promised land. They are there now. They got a shot at it. That's the difference in, I guess, Madge being what I say, he's not a rebuild coach. He's a coach for a good team. And that's why I think the Broncos, when they appointed him, hats off to Dave Donaghy, because it's a good appointment. And he's got him to a grand final in year one.
I think Ricky Stewart used a term last night, good coaches need good players. And that pretty much sums it up right there. He went to the West Tigers. The West Tigers are rebuilding, been rebuilding for way too long. They've finally got green shoots that are growing into something special. But when Madge was there, he tried to bring in a sort of a winning culture, a tough culture. He just didn't have the cattle. I don't care if you had Wayne Bennett and a Craig Bellamy coaching team at the West Tigers. They wouldn't have got the best. They wouldn't have done much better than what Madge did at the West Tigers. He's gone to Brisbane. He's got some excellent players there. And like all good coaches, you need that core senior group that can relay that message that they need to get to the junior players, the rock stars. That's exactly what's happening at Brisbane. It happened at Souths when he had the likes of Sam Burgess and Johnny Sutton they could lean on. Even Greg Inglis, to get the message, his messaging across to the rest of the group, everyone was singing from the same hymn sheet.
Yeah.
He's gone to Brisbane. He's got my mate, Adam Reynolds, Payne Haas, even Paddy Carrigan. Just, he's that conduit. So he's... what's been underplayed is the way Madge has handled Brisbane. Being a head coach of the Brisbane Broncos is not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah.
It's not just the X's and O's and getting the players up each week. It's a big job. Like it's... What's the old term? The Prime Minister's job, and then the second most important job's got to be the Australian cricket captain. The third job, it'll be a close third, is the Brisbane head coach in the NRL.
That's a terrible...
He's done
that's
fascinating...
terrible.
Oh, I didn't mind. I thought it was quite good. It was coming to me, and I thought, this is a good anecdote. But he's done an amazing job just coping with the pressure. He looks pretty chilled. Like, it's a big task ahead of him, and he's almost been unflappable all the way through it.
I have to ask you then, I assume...
Who wins?
You're tipping Brisbane out?
Just quietly, I won the tipping comp in the Herald by 24.
We're
it was James Tedesco-esque
Oh,
in the Daily Empire.
How many? 20
22. I think I was about 22.
Wow.
And I don't want to point it out, but I will. I'm 8 for 8 in the finals. Therefore, I'm going Brisbane. And I think I'll win in a high-scoring contest, 24-22, 24-20. I just think they've got too much attack. They almost come into this as the underdogs with nothing to lose. Here we are spruiking them, but the pressure's on Melbourne.
Clive Churchill?
Reece Walsh.
Okay. I'm going to go Brisbane as well.
God, no, don't. You're the kiss of death.
I am. I'm about 24 behind you. Actually, no, I'm more than that. I think Brisbane in extra time with a Payne Haas Clive Churchill medal.
Nice. With my man kicking the field goal.
Maybe. Your man Adam Reynolds. Will he retire if he wins?
I'll tell you what, why not? Well, no, he's too competitive. He's too competitive. He loves his
Is
rugby
that a little
league.
scoop you're giving us there?
No, we could play till he's 40 if he
Yeah,
could,
okay.
the great man.
Hey, we've been talking the last few weeks about our favourite grand final moments, and we had the grand final ticket competition. We asked people to write in for a chance to win one of the 10 double passes for the NRL Grand Final, and we can officially announce the best entry today.
Read it out.
Talon is our winner.
Da Silva.
Not Talon Da Silva. Talon's favourite grand final moment was in 2016 when the Sharks won their first title. He said his dad was a lifetime Cronulla supporter his whole life, watched his side fall short time and time again. So that, in 2016, Ben Barber and Andrew Fafita and Michael Ennis and Paul Gallen, watching them do what they did that night, that was our winning entry. So, Talon, congratulations. You've scored yourself a double pass to the grand final. And you also get an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of the media area, which you don't know yet, but you'll be taking him through.
I don't get that till kick-off.
Yeah, well, you'll be meeting Talon Da Silva. And
good on you, Talon.
You'll meet some of the best riders and commentators in the game. We have 9 other winners as well, so make sure you answer the phone as our team will be calling. Christian, it's been a pleasure. 40-20, potentially done and dusted for the year. I'll see you out at the grand final. I hope your prediction's right.
Enjoy it.